way Atlanta United markets, as much as possible from some outsiders, is the most authentic way of leaning into Atlanta, asking questions, trying to develop marketing around the culture that already exists instead of trying to come and create your own. And so I've always saluted Atlanta United for that.
Atlanta is one of the most international cities in the world. Everywhere in America, everybody has a basketball team, everybody has a football team. It's such a transient city. Everybody in Atlanta supports Atlanta United because they never had a soccer team. And that's the beauty.
Soccer took a hold in Atlanta because it's a passionate city. It's passionate about its sports. It's also a very diverse city. And when you look at soccer, it's the global game. And so soccer truly is a reflection of the city of Atlanta here. And you've got all walks of life coming together, just like the sport does around the world. So it doesn't matter if two people have ever talked to each other ever in their lives, they come together around the sport, and that's what it's doing here. And that's why it's been successful here.
I think part of the reason Atlanta United was so successful was the diversity innate to Atlanta. You have arguably the most diverse population in North America in terms of demographics and some of the socioeconomic diversity that you see here as well. So soccer is very much that sport that unifies cities all over the world, and I think that same dynamic applies here to Atlanta.
While yes, you see United being a name often around global football clubs, for us it was more than that. And we kind of disregarded that and we looked at what Arthur's vision was, which was to bring people together around the game. And so there wasn't another name that would fit better than Atlanta United.
I think we have the history there. It proves what Atlanta United has done to build our reputation as a city built for soccer, but I think we're much more than just soccer. We have a diverse community, a diverse culture, a wide variety of people that come in from all over the country.
I'm not originally from Atlanta. Growing up as a gay person in the South, you kind of end up in Atlanta. I originally came from Northern Alabama, but it was one of those things that I always had that craving for the big city that Atlanta offered. My introduction to the sport came when Robbie Rogers came out as gay and was the first gay player in MLS. So that's really kind of how I got introduced to soccer and MLS specifically.
Resurgence is very much like a come as you are kind of group. We're all very, very different. I'm Hispanic myself. We have members from all over, different backgrounds, educational backgrounds, cultural backgrounds and everything. We love like our vibe as a group. We love like hanging out and being together. We love our club and we love our city, and like that's really the most important thing. If you come with that kind of aspect, if you're open-minded and true to yourself and true to Atlanta, that's what we really care about. The most important thing is, do you support soccer? Do you support Atlanta United?
The best thing about the Atlanta United community of supporters is that everyone is so inclusive and everyone really respects the mission of all of the various supporters groups. So even though All Stripes is focused on the LGBTQ community, that's not our sole focus. So we partner with other organizations because we all have such similar missions to increase the fan base of Atlanta United and soccer as a whole within the community.
Go United!
Sí, totalmente estoy de acuerdo. Atlanta United está conectada con la ciudad de Atlanta de una manera muy especial, especialmente con identidad desde que se fundó. Sus valores creo que transmiten mucho a su gente hispanoamericana y nada, creo que hay una conexión especial con eso.
Siempre es lo que me ha gustado, ¿no? El hacer amistades. Eso, el fútbol me ha dado amistades, como no tiene uno idea, amistades por donde sea, que en realidad eso es incomparable con otra cosa, ¿no?
That's what we want the club to be. That's what we want our supporter culture to be, is welcoming to anybody from anywhere. As long as you're welcoming and you're accepting of others, we're going to be accepting of you.
Atlanta supported soccer for a very long time. I remember going to games back in the early 2000s to watch the Atlanta Beat play, the women's soccer, professional soccer team, and really good attendance numbers. You may remember back in 1996, the very first time that the women's tournament was played in the Olympics, 60-some thousand people crowded Sanford Stadium. I mean, that is a reflection of how much people love this sport in this state and this city.
We are at O'Sullivan's in Decatur on our downtown square, and it is the primary supporter for Decatur FC. And the owner is a soccer coach and has a keen interest in soccer and especially in women's soccer. And it was their idea to bring this to Decatur and thought Decatur would be a great location for having this team, and I think he's right.
The population here is mad about soccer, so when I started the Decatur FC team, I felt this was the perfect kind of conduit with the square here and all the bars and restaurants, the stadium 300 yards away. I really felt it could be like a Bull Durham type scenario. Hence, you know, we've gone lock, stock, and barrel promoting the team and behind the team.
It gives the opportunity for young female soccer players who are home from college to keep up their skills and bring a great game to Decatur. And we had wonderful attendance, and it's so encouraging, especially for young girls, to see young women playing such a high level of soccer.
On the women's side, I felt there was a need for something. And inside the city, where we are here in Decatur, there's a huge market for it, I felt. And I guess it took a bit of a punt on it and see what would happen. Honestly, it ballooned. For women's soccer, I think it's a really exciting and fun thing.
All of these projects are built with community input. Soccer in the Streets as a staff does a really great job of working in areas before we build these projects. We went and looked around the world to see where there are soccer fields at train stations. Well, there aren't any. This is the first of its kind in the world. Thankfully for us, they saw the benefit through opening the first and second one of these.
When we moved to the area, we were really just looking for something that was affordable, that they could do. And at the time when he was younger, we didn't even know if soccer was going to be the thing he wanted to do. So this was just an awesome opportunity. We've made like family friends. Yeah, I've become friends with their parents, and it really is a community here. This is why I actually love it.
You're now seeing the fruits of them being very involved from things like arts and other things at these stations. And so this went from a crazy idea to the transit agency being very more involved and now saying, well, what more can we do? And we might be asking questions around, well, what other communities would like to see this at their station?
Atlanta as a soccer city has grown alongside Atlanta as an international city. The music scene was a huge factor. You know, television, film production, all of that kept coming and growing and growing and growing, to the point that now, if you come to Atlanta from an international country, one of your touchstones is going to be Atlanta United.
We're producing a track that's gonna represent Atlanta, the sound of what is Atlanta, of all the diverse cultures in the city. What old Atlanta is to what new Atlanta is, merging both sounds. Trap, 808s, Latin trumpets, sabor is like what I always say. Pretty much
big melting pot, just exactly what Atlanta represents in a song, and then just bringing those big stadium sounds.
came from Puerto Rico to Atlanta. I literally tweeted the whole year to Atlanta United. It's like, hey, I want to be your DJ. Spanish, English, and Portuguese. Didn't know what language the marketing person spoke, but I was tweeting. I didn't do the first game because there was a DJ already hired. I did the second game as a tryout or audition, and I've been the DJ ever since 2017. Second game. Obviously, when I go into the games, we want to represent Atlanta into like the hype, the music. I'm exactly going to do exactly what I do, which is bridge all the cultures.
We're a music town, we're a sports town, and many other things, hustling and all that kind of stuff. And there's always been a ton of culture here, and there's so much talent here. The city has really, put itself on the map, especially for the South, as being ahead of the game as far as what I do, even being considered contemporary art because it comes from the street. The city has beyond accepted it, and I think that the world has accepted it, and this is becoming a destination for art and murals and creativity in general. This is ground zero for creativity for the universe.
Atlanta United did a really, really cool thing when they started, and ever since they've been paying for these murals around town. There's about a dozen or so around town that they pay mural artists to paint Atlanta United themed murals. The mural culture here is extremely strong. It's awesome. It's a fantastic thing that you see around the city.
I've been working on TIFOs at the start of United's Foundation inaugural season, and we were cranking them out. We were making one for just about every match, and I was fortunate enough that the entire 17s trusted me to make some pretty epic ones. And over time, we're just going to add to this. That's kind of like the family and community that United Field truly is. What this piece is going to be, that, a foundation that we build upon each match.
Well, this mural and all the murals, really, each part of these neighborhoods that I've painted them on, this building in particular, I had been painting it and tagging it since I was a kid, and it would get buffed, and sometimes I would go do it again, and then eventually I was asked back by Atlanta United to paint that specific wall just by chance. I've become part of the DNA of the city, and then Atlanta United comes around years later, and they kind of have the same approach. They're just in your face, and it becomes part of the landscape, the DNA, and the spirit. Right now, we're in the old 4th Ward. We're over here by where Dr. Martin Luther King was born, and the Ebenezer Church, and the home of civil rights. I love anything that's Atlanta-centric. To be a part of it and to be able to keep my murals in this city, it brings us together. People who didn't used to like watching sports or soccer likes to go to these games. Even if you don't like going to the games, you like going to the tailgate parties. And that is magic in itself as well.
When I first showed up in 2017, everyone was so welcoming, and we even had involvement as far as watch parties outside of the city. Even though I was outside all the way in Atlanta, I still felt a part of the group and the community that Terminus Legion has created.
Since day one in 2017, we created the Latin supporter group, and we brought it in as La Doce, the 12th player. We never missed a game, at least I never missed a game, and most of us neither.
Terminus Legion is so diverse. You see all walks of life here, and we are all one family, which makes it really important to me.
I just totally fell in love with the vibe and just the really friendly atmosphere. I mean, everybody accepted me as soon as I came to the first tailgate, and I just never left.
All the supporter groups are pretty different, right? They stand for different things. Some of them are more about family values. Some are about uniting types of community. And Resurgence has been focused on in-game hype, right? Rowdy and proud is one of the sayings, and that's from one of the first chants that Resurgence came up with.
Footy Mob represents the best of Atlanta and its people.
meaning the people who have been here and will always be here. I was a lifelong NFL fan, and the first year of Atlanta United was the year after that Super Bowl that shall not be named. But at that time, I loved the way that the city came together behind sport. Everything was just great, all the people in the city wearing their gear and high-fiving each other, and I just needed something to carry me over from that.
The name Resurgence comes from the origin story of Atlanta itself. If you look at any seal of the city of Atlanta, it's all about rising from the ashes.
Went to a couple games at Bobby Dodd that first year, kind of fell in love with it, found out about supporter culture and the community that kind of goes into it. Went around, met people, and I have a wild amount of friends now, like lifelong friends. I know it's cliche to say, like it's a family, but we all hang out outside of going to games. It's lifelong friends that if I needed something, I can call anyone that's in Resurgence and they'd be there for me.
Energy is what I called to me and spoke to my heart the most, so Resurgence is where I am, and we do a lot of good work.
There were a lot of strangers that came together and became this community. I think we've had 2 marriages out of Footy Mom.
I think so.
And you know, a couple of relationships, a couple of failed relationships, but you know.
The faction represents a group of young families, and we're really passionate about the game. So we like to still support Atlanta United, make sure that we're part of the 6 supporter groups here.
It makes me so happy that there is representation with Atlanta United and that there's an LGBTQ focused supporter group specifically for this community.
My introduction to All Stripes was seeing a lot of the people at the matches, seeing the rainbow flags in the supporter section, and really kind of seeing how inclusive of an environment they were trying to build. It was also that they were trying to reach out to people in the community who maybe weren't already sports fans or soccer fans, and that really just resonated with me. All Stripes comes from the play on the 5 stripes that make up the crest of Atlanta United. And we wanted to expand on that and show that everyone is welcome in the Atlanta United community of supporters.
That's why I have 3 extra tickets. And I always try to make sure that when I'm giving those to somebody and promoting, that they come to the tailgate to experience the culture of what we're building and what we have built, and to understand that outside of that 90 minutes, there's also this community of people that love the game.
I go to games with some of the members of Footy Mob. I'm sure I'm annoying because I ask about every play. I don't understand soccer, but you know, they tell me what's a good play and what's not a good play. But I love it, man. I'm a proud fan. Again, I can't name one player, but I will go out in the street and fight for these guys.
And the fans come here too, to where they come and pregame here, to where I can see the excitement. Every home game, they're here. And they know us to come here to hang out, and that's what I think is the best thing, is to be of service to the fans. And they can park their cars here and walk there and still have a good time. So that's exciting for me, is just seeing all the new people, new faces, and the old friends and faces that we always see.
Actually coming to the matches, meeting the other supporters, and learning about the supporters' culture that is a part of soccer across the world was really amazing. Win, lose, doesn't matter at the end of the day. Everybody's there to have a good time, to be connected, to make bonds and connections that go beyond the sport. And that's what keeps the energy going. That's what keeps us coming back match after match.
Since the team started in 2017, 7 teams became a moniker. They didn't ever allow anybody to wear the number 17. They set that aside for the fans. So it all kind of organically grew, and now it's just common nomenclature at this point.
The earrings that I have are the number 17. That's the year that Atlanta United was founded. That's also the number that the team has designated as the supporters number. That 17 represents all of us in the Atlanta United community. Whether you're a member of a supporters group or not, if you are an Atlanta United supporter, you are a 17.
Tailgate parties, for sure. I love like the social end of it all. And it's like the social, you know, you could even not even go in a game and have the best time of your life outside the game if you want. It's like going to hear the gospel at church. Everybody catches the spirit in different ways, but this seems to be something that anybody can catch the spirit with.
Getting rowdy together and getting ready for our club. I just think it's such a beautiful thing, and it's so fun to be here before the game and like partying with all these cool people and just having a blast.
Once everybody is truly pumped up and ready to go, we start the march to the stadium. Right outside of the gates, we'll stop, we'll chant again, we'll have the walls of the stadium shaking from the noise that we're able to create, just to show that we're here, we're bringing this in, and everybody inside needs to be ready for a truly remarkable experience.
How do you electrify the stadium? How do you get our players pumped? How do you get everybody excited? We want flags, we want drums, you know, we want the chants, we want the hype.
In the United States, there can't be another venue like Mercedes-Benz Stadium. People don't sit down.
You know, there's more than just the match that goes on. You've got, you know, everything, the pre-match spike where you see different Atlanta folks, you know, coming together and hammering in that spike to signify the start of the match. The noise, the excitement, the different languages, the chants that you hear in our matches is truly unique.
I'm extremely lucky to be able to represent Atlanta United, and we as a club are extremely lucky to have the supporters that we have. The 17s are phenomenal in terms of letting their voice be heard, in terms of the support they give us. And so to stand in front of them for 45 minutes with my back to them and hear the chants, hear the support, and then I've got probably the best view in the house, in the stadium for the other 45 minutes, and I'm looking at them, and when we're scoring goals and seeing the flames erupt and seeing the beers being thrown in the air, and just the chaos that ensues after a goal. It's pure chaos.
The 17s behind that one goal are constantly chanting, screaming, beating the drums. You know, you always see people with their shirts off going crazy when we score. You know, beers flying. It's unbelievable, whether it's the first minute of the game or the 85th minute. It's unbelievable stadium, and we're really, really lucky to have the facilities that we have here in Atlanta United, and hopefully that leads to success and more championships.
Es una de las cosas que es muy linda para uno jugador profesional hacer. Creo que la comunidad latina hispanoamericana está muy conectada con el club por la diversidad que se encuentra en la comunidad de Atlanta. Hay mucha diversidad que lo hace a la ciudad especialmente especial. Y bueno, yo siendo de Venezuela, uno siente el calor, la energía, la amabilidad de la gente, así que me identifico un poco.
If you haven't been in Mercedes-Benz Stadium before, it is amazing. It's a technological marvel. Certainly it has the Halo, which is a 360-degree video screen. It's so sophisticated you can run movies on it. You have a light show that's unique to every game. The stadium doesn't merely open and close. It folds open like the petals of a flower. It's breathtaking. You know, when we win games at home, then we even turn it red and light it up in Atlanta United colors. So it's an incredible place.
Atlanta's risen in a very short time frame to a global soccer city, and I think it's because of not only the development of the sport since 1996, but it's because of everything that the city has done to get it to where it is today. You can't ignore Atlanta. I think Atlanta's put itself as a place you have to come to.
That community, that love for the game and everything is what drives us all. And it's bigger than most people really understand.
consider ourselves like the royalty of soccer when it comes to this part of the country, and we just carry ourselves with that. Like, we truly believe that we're the premier soccer organization in the United States.
It's very clear that an Atlanta United game day is probably one of the most diverse fan bases of any sport. You see people from all demographics, all backgrounds, and it really highlights why Atlanta is a great city.
Atlanta is the epicenter of soccer in North America, but Atlanta is more than a soccer city, in my opinion.
People are going to think of Atlanta as the hub of soccer in the U.S.